Hey everyone, Couch Investor back to another video for today. So let's talk about Intel, especially the GPU side of things with some extra information and news out of Europe and out of China that could affect Intel in a positive and in a negative way. Now, as you know, the GPU side of things, the accelerated computer segment of Intel is still pretty small, right? If you look at last quarter, that grew 1% to $247 million. So over a year, let's call it a $1 billion business right now. Now, if you remember, in 2026, this segment is expected to be as big as $10 billion. So as I said in the previous video, a 10x growth here. In my opinion, I don't think this will happen, but with the news that we will discuss today with regards to their order with TSMC, maybe we might get close to it. Now, before I continue, let me just show you the effects of analysts being wrong and the market showing the analysts that they are wrong, or some of you might call it manipulation. So, analysts bearish on Intel. So 1 month ago, Intel became the only stock to have sell recommendations from 10 or plus analysts. Since then, these shares are up 30%. When everybody is bearish on a name, it's usually the best time to buy, in the opinion of the Twitter here. And we can have a look at the graph right here. We're still over the 200-day moving average. MACD, pretty bullish, closing in on that zero line here. RSI, in my opinion, still okay, 57 there. But I think we're now in a better place on a technical basis. Of course, the underlying business, in my opinion, will still struggle a bit. Remember, the outlook for Q1 wasn't that great at all. Revenue down around 40% or so, gross margin under 40%, 39% to be exact. So don't expect a great quarter for Q1, but again, the market is forward looking. These analysts were clearly either extremely wrong or trying to manipulate the market. The market acted accordingly. I've been saying this for a while. I think 2023 will be a make or break year for Intel. I'm in the camp of show me what you've got and then you regain my confidence. Now, when it comes to the GPU, we have some news, but before we do so, if you would be so kind to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you have not, it really helps out the channel. And if you want to support me even further, do check out the link down in the description and in the pinned comment to get the top 10 best stocks to buy now, or go to fool.com/couchinvestor. And thank you to the one person that actually bought the first merch t-shirt of this channel. Thank you very much. You know who you are. So first up, some news when it comes to the effects of China and the regulations, strict rules right now. So apparently Chinese regulators have slowed merger approvals of deals by US firms, asking some to make products that they sell in other countries available in China, potentially putting the companies in an impossible position as legislation restricting US companies' ability to sell in China has been enacted. Now, according to people close to the process, proposed acquisitions that have been slowed include Intel's $5.2 billion takeover of Tower Semi, and MaxLinear's $3.8 billion acquisition of Silicon Motion. Then we have some news when it comes to Europe. So apparently European Union member states and lawmakers will likely reach an agreement on a multi-billion euro plan to bolster the bloc's semiconductor sector on April 18. The European Commission announced the CHIPS Act in 2022 in an effort to lower EU reliance on US and Asian chip makers following global supply chain problems. Publicly traded companies in the space include AMD, Intel, Marvell, Microchip, Micron, Nvidia, Qualcomm, and Texas Instruments. Of course, we've talked about this before. Intel seeking more funding, let's say, in Europe to build their fabs, in talks with Italy, in talks with Germany as well. And if the CHIPS Act gets signed, what's the budget there? We know in the United States, what was it, around $50 billion, which again, I don't think will move the needle that much. It helps, but for an industry that is in the hundreds of billions of dollars, not enough in my opinion. But then again, that's just my opinion. Moving on to the GPU segment, right? The accelerated computing segment, there were some conflicting rumors at first that, well, Intel will not go further with TSMC's order, etc. We've debunked that. The CEO said that this is not true as well. These were just rumors that were confirmed to be false. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, this was already announced in 2021 that Intel and Apple will be the first to adopt TSMC's 3nm technology. So, what happens now? It is reported that Intel secured 4 nanometers and 3 nanometers TSMC wafer orders for Battlemage and Celestial GPUs. Now, some of you might ask, doesn't Intel have their own foundry services? Yes, but as they said, they're going to use the smaller side of their business right now, GPUs, and use TSMC's bleeding edge technology for the meantime, where right now Intel will focus on their foundry business for the other aspects of their business. So it says here the same thing. This is interesting news for all kinds of reasons. Intel has its own bleeding edge foundry services with the 20A and 80N process nodes, supposedly seeing quick progress towards viability. We talked about the 18A in the last video when they talked about the data center and AI segment that is still on track, that we will see already in the first half of 2024. Now, they continue by saying, even still, it seems like Intel's GPU business will remain with TSMC for the foreseeable future. And since this is a new-ish segment for Intel, I think this is the correct move to make. Go with TSMC, which has already the majority of the market, which we know is very, very high quality, so makes sense for Intel. Then, as that business segment becomes bigger and bigger, they can maybe do it themselves or continue with TSMC and do it themselves as well. Maybe 50-50, 60-40, depends how they want to do it. Now, to continue here, the report also says that the second generation Battlemage product are anticipated to come to market in the second half of next year, while the follow-up Celestial parts will be arriving in the second half of 2026, so another 15 or more months would be a long time to write the current ARC parts. But earlier leaks have suggested the existence of an Alchemist refresh in the second half of this year. So although this is still a small segment of Intel, on an annualized basis $1 billion in revenue, still small all things considered. Well, actually it's 10% of revenue in the current Q1 projections. But if things go the right direction, this might become and will probably become a significant part of the business. And for the overall market, it's great to have another good GPU player, so that while prices of NVIDIA's GPUs, maybe even AMD as well, don't go as high as they used to be, because they knew they have basically the monopoly in the market. Very, very expensive things to buy these days. So to me, good news, but still, show me what you've got. Show me the numbers. I know Q1 won't be great. If they can beat their own expectations, I think the market will react accordingly. But I would like to hear outlook. Are things looking better for the CPU side of things, data center side especially? Are things looking better? What's your outlook right now for Q2? Maybe an updated outlook for the full year. A more rosier outlook would be very, very well received. So that's about it for this video. Of course, do share your thoughts down in the comments below. If you enjoy this type of videos, leave it a thumbs up, subscribe if you have not, and I see you all in the next one. Bye bye.